Welcome back to the part 8 of Plant Kingdom. In our previous class, we have studied about the subtopics like algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes. So in this video, we are going to continue to learn about angiosperms. As you can see on your screen, angiosperms are the most advanced division of the flowering plant. We are trying to understand each and everything detail about the plants. So now advanced plants are falls under angiosperms. So angiosperms are termed as the most advanced division of the flowering plants. Highly evolved plants primarily adapted to terrestrial habitat. So the habitat of angiosperm, majority of the angiosperms are growing on the land. They are present in the terrestrial habitat. Olphia is the smallest angiosperm, which measure about 1 mm in size, and eucalyptus grows to over 100 meters. Among the angiosperms, the Wolffia, the plant Wolffia is the most smallest angiosperm which is seen till now, that measure about 1 mm in size, and eucalyptus is the largest, which is going to grow till 100 meters. The plant body is differentiated into root, stem and leaves. It has flowers, fruits and seeds. Till now whatever we studied about algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes, among them these are the most advanced, because in algae and bryophytes we did not see the true roots, leaves and stem. The body was not differentiated into root, stem and leaves. Here from the pteridophytes you can see the advancement, like they are said to be, the pteridophytes are said to be the vascular plants with the true root, stem and leaves. Now coming to the angiosperms, you are going to identify, you are going to differentiate the plant into root, stem, leaves. Not only this, the plant will bear fruits and seed also. So we can say angiosperms are the most advanced division of flowering plant. Vascular tissues are well developed. Xylem shows vessels or tracheids, while phloem has sieve tubes and companion cell. As I have said, in case of pteridophytes also you have seen the vascular plants. The first vascular plants were pteridophytes. So here also the vascular bundles are well developed. Vascular bundles are nothing but which have got xylem and phloem. So the xylem consists of vessels or tracheids in them, and the phloem has got a sieve tube and companion cell. As I have said, you are going to study this in the upcoming chapters in detail about the vascular bundles. So angiosperms are going to show you heteromorphic alternation of generation. Here you can have a look on the alternation of generation, like sporophyte. The plant body is said to be the sporophyte, and it is going to give you a microsporangium, which is going to produce microspores who are haploid in nature. These microspores produces pollen grains, that is male reproductive structure, which we call it as male gametophyte, and it produces the gametes like egg from the female reproductive part, and egg is said to be the megaspore mother cell, which is going to develop the egg, and the fusion of the male and female gamete give rise to a zygote, and a zygote develop into an embryo. So the sporophytic condition of the angiosperm is diploid in nature. Diploid, autotrophic and dominant. The sporophyte in case of angiosperm, you should remember, this is important for the point of competitive, that is the sporophytic condition in the angiosperm is diploid and it is autotrophic, means they are self-producing food. They are able to produce their food by themselves, and the sporophytic condition will be dominant, through which you are going to get your male and female reproductive structure. So the alternation of generation in angiosperm is heteromorphic. Two different kinds of male and female gametes you are going to see. So have a look on the angiosperms male and female reproductive structure. Let we first look at the male. Development of male gametophyte, that's going to carry out in the pollen grain. Pollen grain is also known as, pollen grain produces the anther. Anther produces pollen grain into a structure, we call it as microsporangium or pollen sac. It gives rise to microsporophyte, which is diploid in nature, which will go into a meiosis, which will undergo a meiotic cell division, giving rise to 4 microspore, which will be haploid in nature. Each of 4 microspore will develop into a male gametophyte, which has a nucleus and a tube cell. So the male gametophyte will be haploid in the condition. So you can have a look, the pollen grains, the stamens are going to produce the pollen grains. Pollen grains contain microsporangium, and the microsporangium or microsporocyte is always diploid, which will undergo meiosis to give rise to 4 microspore. At the end, it is going to produce a male gametophyte consisting of a nucleus, a generative cell and a tube cell. Okay, now coming to the female reproductive structure, we call it as an egg. So the female reproductive structure is nothing but megasporangium. It is going to develop from an embryo sac. So this megasporangia is diploid in nature, which is, we call it as an ovule, comprises of megasporocyte, integuments and micropyle region, through which our male reproductive structure will enter. Okay, so first it will go meiosis, then it will undergo mitosis cell division to produce a complete ovule, comprises of 3 antipodal cell, 2 polar nucleus, 1 egg cell and 2 synergids, and the layer which is covered to this ovule is integuments. After the fertilization of male gamete along with the ovule or an egg, it is going to produce into an embryo inside the embryo sac. So embryo sac, in the embryo sac you are going to see the double fertilization. So let me explain you the double fertilization in detail in our next video, that is in part 9th. I will be continuing with the double fertilization process in angiosperm. Thank you students.